Happy Wednesday, everyone. Welcome back to another week of Word Wizards Wednesday, where each week I bring a local and or global artist here as a special guest to share their truth and to share their medicine. I am your host, Moon Magic. I am a hip-hop artist, MC Intuitive, aka the Hip-Hop Witch, and welcome back. Each Wednesday I love to do these episodes. We bring on a special guest, and the first 15 minutes I love to get to check in with everyone. It is the middle of the week. It is the hump day Wednesday. I hope you all are doing well. Shout out to Frequency Moran, Miguel, up in the live right now. Hope you're doing well, brother. So each week I like to just check in with folks, check in here on this platform, give some updates about things happening and what you can expect from me and my art, and what things I have offering up at the moment. And then I get to bring a special guest on and interview them, and they get to share what they do with you all. Again, I hope you all have had a great week, putting some good energy out there for everyone and anyone who's going through a difficult time right now. So I wanted to start with some announcements, you all. So I do have a special requested timeless pick a card tarot reading that I posted last week onto my YouTube channel. One of the things that I have been working on is posting more videos onto my YouTube channel and trying to build my channel. That's one of my goals for 2021, and to focus more of my creative energy into building some of my content there. So if you haven't gotten the chance, go ahead and check it out. If you're feeling the vibe, like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend who you think might appreciate it too. Shout out to The Outcome, XCVI or Die, who's also joined us here tonight, and Laughing Lady Love. So yeah, that video is up on my YouTube now. You can find the link in my bio. At Moon Magic Flows is my Instagram platform. moonmagicflows.com is the website, and it will link you to all of the things that I'm in, my YouTube channel, Twitter, all of that good stuff. I also wanted to let you all know that I am about to do a spring, cleaning out the closet, 22% off all my Etsy items at my shop, including these beanies, y'all. So 22% off. I don't do that big of a percentage off that often, so I am excited to be offering that up. So I do have some of these moon beanies up on the Etsy shop. I have some hoodies, and I have some dope one-of-a-kind art canvas paintings that were created by your girl, so go check it out. I won't be posting the code for a while, probably at the beginning of next week. So again, if you're not following my personal page at Moon Magic Flows, check it out, and you're gonna see the coupon code and all of that information be posted there. Next, I do have some new music coming out. I have a new single, a solo song that was produced by me, as well as me on the lyrics and vocals. And shout out to Christopher Felix, who helped to mix and master the track. I'm not going to give too much information about this single yet, but do be on the lookout. I also have a single coming out with PTC. Shout out to Outcome, who's up in the chat with the Flames, who is also a member of PTC, Pulled Through Chaos, the underground hip-hop crew. We are going to be releasing a single called Blessed to See Light. So also make sure you are following Moon Magic Flows or at Pulled Through Chaos for more information about those singles and when this new music will be released. I'm excited to get some things out. I have not released any music this year, but I have definitely been crafting away on an album project and been working on getting a lot of music videos out for you all. And I am really excited to get to share some of that work that I've been doing offline very soon with you all. Shout out to Plex the Prophet, who just joined us as well. Let me see what other announcements I have. I think that is it. I've been talking a little bit on my personal account how excited I am for springtime, y'all. I think there's some rain in the forecast this upcoming week, but you know, rain is good. April showers bring May flowers type of vibe. But either way, you know, spring is on the horizon and it is my favorite time of year. I'm really curious to know what everyone else's favorite time of year is. But for me, you know, it's just like feeling the sun after the long winter, getting to see the birds chirping and being really active, the flowers blossoming and all of that stuff, you know, just kind of gets me motivated to kind of, you know, move forward from the dark winter and all of the losses and, you know, different trials and reflections that we went through, and to, you know, release and renew and, you know, be inspired by the nature outside. And as the seasons are changing in the outside, the seasons are always changing inwardly, if you know what I mean. I am going to post a new video up on my YouTube channel shortly as well, talking a little bit about moving from trauma to higher love and wisdom. So again, if you are not plugged into my YouTube channel, make sure you check it out and check out all of that information and videos that are over there. All right, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pull a card. That's it for my check-in with you all. For those who are here watching us live or even watching this on the playback, if you want to share how your week has been, you know, I will read the comments. I do want this to be a sacred space, you know, every Wednesday for those who are here during the live, but also, you know, watching it on the playback if you are up in the comments, you know, to be able to share and build community here online during this time. You know, I want everyone here to be able to speak their truth and share their medicine and be able to collaborate with like-minded individuals, you know, where we get to cultivate our individual flames, and that expression can be something that we share with the world and be a gift to the world. So that is my intention. Blessings to you all on this Wednesday. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and read the card that popped out. I am using Spacewalker's Big Deck Energy. If you're not plugged into Spacewalker, at Spacewalker92 is their Instagram handle. Go check them out. They are a phenomenal artist, and they just dropped a new music video today called Avatar State. Avatar State. I'm in that Avatar State. Hey. So y'all go check it out. Super dope video. And they also made these oracle cards, the Big Deck Energy Oracle deck. And the reason I really like this deck is it does match the chakras, the different colors. So this one that came out, which is funny because my nails actually match, is the green heart chakra. I'm going to go ahead and read this card. Before I read the card, for those of you who are entering the chat, you know, who are here live, or if you are at home, you know, we're going to go ahead and do 3 4-second breaths together to just give ourselves the time to kind of tap in with ourselves, and settle in and be open to receiving this message, you know, from whatever you believe, whether you believe in God or divine, or even just your higher self, your own intuition, your own inner voice. So yeah, let's go ahead and close your eyes if you are in a place where you can. And we're gonna breathe in. And out. And breathe in. And out. Last time, breathe in. Hold it. And release. Connecting with the breath for me is something I find that helps me to get centered, get balanced, and helps to, you know, calm any anxiety, relief tension, anything that you may be carrying from your day. So yeah, let's go ahead and read this card from the Big Deck Energy by Spacewalker. It says, "Oh wow, behold the greatest gift you ever received. It is you, my dear creator, my dear masterpiece. You are enough. You are abundance. You are the strength and the power that you seek. We know your lips feel ready to speak, and we know it is getting easier for you to trust that the words are already there. They're always there. We know the medicine you need will find you in a way you predicted but can't quite articulate. Crystal candles drip tie-dye wax on my forehead. Wake up to get the best rest." I love that. You are the strength and power you seek. The medicine you need will find you in a way you predicted but can't quite articulate. The best gift you ever given or received is you, my dear creator. Whoo! Beautiful. Yeah, if you'd like to share in the chat what that card, how it resonated with you, what your favorite part of that message was, feel free to share that below. That's all of my updates that I have for you all. I am really excited for our special guest today for this week's Word Wizards Wednesday. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and transition into announcing our special guest. All right, you all. Our special guest, pronounced LL, aka Laughing Lady Love, is presenting expressive alchemy via soul music and poetic lyricism. They are releasing a new song every couple weeks on SoundCloud and Bandcamp, and they have a new album that will be released this spring. So our special guest today is no other than Laughing Lady Love. Everyone give a burr, 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 burr. All right, I'm going to bring them up right now. Hey! Laughing Lady Love up on the gram. What up, girl? How are you?
Oh, better now. Oh, shoot. Can I put some filters? That might be fun.
Ooh, can you do that? Can you do that live? Is that a thing?
It's giving me the option. Oh, snap. Put me in the clouds, baby. We in the stars now.
Oh, I love this. Let me, wait, I didn't, oh, snap. This is the thing? Oh!
Yes, got the wave. Yes, yes, yes.
This is all my music be like.
Exactly, dude.
Although when I start putting on Love Myself, this is how it makes me feel.
I love myself. Love myself again.
Which, by the way, is still one of my most favorite songs. That album is just so amazing. Oh, this is cool.
Thank you so much. That was a sweet one.
Oh, I think this is the one.
Woo!
I'm really digging this one, y'all.
Fun. I
These
love
filters
it.
are a great idea. I don't know why I've never done this before.
Woo! Yeah, baby.
Yes. So, for those who don't know who Laughing Lady is, feel free to introduce yourself, sis. As we trying out these different filters, you know.
Well, my name is Kelly Taylor, and I've been releasing some music as Laughing Lady Love. And I'm trying to get these comments down on me. Okay. I'm releasing some new music as LL, just shortening it up a little bit and kind of allowing for some refresh, kind of a fresh canvas to present some newer, deeper, more emotional, maybe darker, maybe light. Just continuing to mix it up and allow myself to expand and not be attached to one ideal or image or name. I have many alter egos actually. At some point it's been Baby Lion or Trap
Baby Lion, because you're a Leo. Yes.
Trap
Yes.
Kitty, Lay Low, Baby Witch. I just remembered I was calling myself Baby Witch for a minute. That was super fun.
Yes. Also, shout out to Love Life Clothing up in the live right now.
Boom, boom, boom. It's fun. It's just an experiment at this point. You know, I have an ideal of being an artist and making a living out of performing and writing and showcasing. However, I realize maybe I gain more benefit just doing it as an art unto myself, unto itself, and allowing it to be a process of healing for me first and foremost. And if it helps
that
when I share it, amen, all the better. You know, I've achieved my mission in that sense.
I love that. I really love that personally. I found that, you know, as I said at the beginning of this check-in, I haven't released any music this year. I released a lot of music, and then I was kind of in a similar boat of just feeling like I don't want to compromise those things, you know what I mean? Because you can try to force things to, you know, to force a certain type of sound, or, you know what I mean? Or to come out at a certain time. But, you know, each time it kind of was like, you know, creating to me is something kind of mystical within itself, you know, and it is like a process of something moving through you, you know? And that is one of the beautiful things, because you can do a song about love, and then you can do a song about hate and everything, you know, and it's just whatever that energy was, or whatever that, you know, feeling that needed to come through. And when we try to, you know, label it, dissect it, you know, box it, it has to come out this way, it needs to be at this time, and at, you know, I've found I always get in trouble when I try to do that.
It kind of
works out the way my mind is trying to force it.
Yeah, it felt it kind of loses its charm when you make it a task and you put a deadline and you have other people working with you, and there's pressure created to complete it or to get it right. It just kind of loses its charm and the purest essence that it's come from. It gets a little bit pimped out in a way.
Yeah,
I feel.
And that, I feel, is the ever, you know, ever evolving struggle of the artist, right?
Yeah.
Because it's one of those jobs where a lot of what you do is, you know, kind of seen as something that should be for free, or the way that the industry has set it up, you know.
Right.
And the reality is that people are trying to survive, right? And so it's like, do you make decisions to try and, you know, kind of keep up with this machine type of popping out art, you know, like a consumer type of, you know, every month you got to have post something, or, you know, whatever it is. Or do you take that laid back approach, and, you know, how do you make all of those things work behind the scenes is always the ever evolving question I have. You know,
I'm figuring it out as I go, honestly. It's been a journey, it's been a process. You know, like I said, it's an ideal to professionalize and commodify, but it's not as easy as that. You know, there are many moving pieces involved to coordinate, and there's also real life to manage. And you know, to be honest, I put more money into making music than I've earned so far, especially with the lockdown.
Yeah.
So
I feel you on that.
at this point, this is why I'm releasing demos, because I enabled myself to put out what I think is good enough. Been holding back so much dozens of songs because I'm like, no, I gotta get this mixed. I gotta buy the stems. I gotta have somebody professionally aligned to do this and da da da, run it through all these programs and all these plugins and put all this money and time into it. And you know what? Like, the purest form in its greatest essence is sometimes that first take, that first freestyle, that first recitation of the poem that you just wrote last week and forgot about and found it on a page and spit it out and got it on recording. And it's like, God damn, I can't even recreate that again.
Yeah.
Maybe my cat's meowing in the background, but I gotta keep that in if I can demo because that's the realness of it. That's the beauty of it. That's where it came from, you know? And on that note, too, I was thinking about the dynamism of the art form, especially as a poet. I think anybody who identifies as a poet is such a feeler in this world and so empathic and honest about what is going on within them and how they're experiencing life. And that comes through the poetry, and it has to be authentic and honest and real to be resonant and resonant, not with just others, but for yourself. First and foremost, it has to be real and raw and really means. So yeah, I mean, over this past year and a half or so, such a span, a wide spectrum of content has come through. I think maybe it's always been that way for me, but
and your music is such a vibe. Vibe. I mean, truly, it's one of those albums. Like, I mean, I've listened to a line so many times. You know, you could just put it on the background when you're driving, or you know, and you're just kind of, you know, doing this kind of thing, and you're feeling good. You know.
I strive for easy digestion, easy listening, and also to make really deep and complex concepts and content soft and swiftly integrated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's actually one of the things. I mean, Pilgrimage is still like one of my favorite songs I've done.
Serious.
One of my favorite collaboration pieces, because I think it has that, you know, you have this soft, very, you know, easy digestible way of what you're saying, and then I'd be coming in like boom, you know. But it's like this beautiful balance, you know. And it's wild because, you know, when I was listening to the song, I'm like, man, like you put it in perfect, like ethereal words, you know, that fit the whole vibe of what this track is talking about, you know. Which if people have not heard that track, Pilgrimage, you all should go check it out. It's on all platforms, you know. Yeah, so that was a blessing to have you bless up that track. Shout out to Casey Slow J up on the production. That was a smooth piece. So girl, you gotta tell me, how did Laughing Lady Love come about? I don't know if I've ever asked you this question, but I definitely want to know where the inspiration of this name came from. And yeah.
I had a feeling it would come up tonight. So the story goes, it's not that exciting, but I guess it was like 2012, 2013. I had just graduated from college. I went to FSU, actually studied business administration and entrepreneurship.
Oh, snap.
And then I kind of like...
Whoa, so how did you get onto the path of doing what you do now? I mean, honestly, I can relate a lot to this, but I want to hear how this happened. Yeah.
I kind of went the other way, you know. I was kind of like, fuck the corporate world. I want to work for myself. I want to start my own business and be an artist and be a gypsy, hippie poet. And that's kind of what I've been on, to be honest.
Did you find, I'm going to ask a little bit deeper because I actually, you know, I went through a similar experience. And what I studied political science, and I interned up in Capitol Hill, and my experience there, it really, you know, was just I think I had a more like, coming from a smaller community, coming from a low income community, I had this idea that like I can make some real change, you know, very like type of feel. And then you get there and you're like, wow, wow, you know, seeing it real live. And I just felt very like, you know, angered by all of it. And it ended up me channeling a lot of that anger and that me wanting to speak out about how I was feeling, and not in such a polished, you know, way that our political system has, which does not allow for the whole truth to always exist and for all of the stories to be there and experiences to be there. You know, I found that in those realms, I felt like I had to be a certain person to be in certain rooms and then be at home and be like the real me, you know. And I wasn't willing to compromise that, but I really believed in needing to, you know, wanting to see change, wanting to speak out, wanting to, you know, let others know about how our system is and, you know, do my part in trying to enact change. But, you know, I definitely saw a 360 from my idea of going through college and the college system and what I thought would happen on the other end. And then actually graduating, getting into the real world and being like, yeah, this was nothing like I thought it was. So I was wondering if you had a similar, you know, kind of idea going through like a business degree, thinking, you know, you could do this a certain way, and then kind of, you know, being disheartened by the, you know, corporate world and everything that it is.
Yeah. Some similarities for sure. I mean, to be honest, throughout the whole formal education, I was resistant and I really didn't want to be in that curriculum, in that environment. I felt like a fish out of water. I felt like a unicorn in a room of business suits, you know? I felt like a unicorn onesie in a room full of business suits.
I love that. Okay, so you were in college, back to how you got the name. Had to ask a segue question just because I was curious.
So yeah, I mean, afterwards, like, as you said, trying to integrate into the real world and finding that people are cutthroat and they fucking lie and they tell stories that aren't real and they try and sell you an idea and they don't live up to it. And I started experiencing some of that, like trying to get into new marketing jobs and like work with new businesses launching, and it just like was not feeling the integrity that I had hoped for. And I was starting to feel like very disappointed and distraught with life and confused about where I was going, what I was doing. And I had experienced laughter yoga a few years before.
Laughter yoga.
And
what?
It didn't like stick, but it planted a seed. And for some reason at that time, the theme became very present again for me. And so I started looking into it, and I think I signed up for like just a random email challenge from some company, some laughter yoga team in New Zealand.
What is laughter yoga?
So laughter yoga is a unique exercise practice actually started in India by a medical doctor who was studying healing and regeneration from disease. And he found out that laughter, whether contrived or authentic, allows the body to produce chemicals and go through a physiological and a psychological process of healing and cellular regeneration, oxygenation, just invigoration in all ways. So I signed up for this class and I started laughing every day. Like 5 months, I just forced myself to sit outside or sit in my room. Forcing myself to like just ha.
The idea of it is funny already.
And no joke, like I was going through a rough time and I would be crying, like trying to laugh through this. Like, what the fuck am I doing? This is retarded, but it's working. Ah! I really felt the shift in my energy after a few weeks. And so I was a believer. And then fate dropped upon me again. I was looking into a training, which is only like a 3-day class. It's like a kind of like an extracurricular yoga EC, what do they call it? Like an extra credit kind of additional certification.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through a training, and it was actually coming to my hometown like the very next weekend. And I was like, oh my God, this is fate. I just have to do it. And that started my practice and experience with laughter yoga. I started incorporating it into when I was sharing poetry on stage sometimes. And I started teaching classes as well for a little bit, and kind of carried it with me with my travels, and it really created a lot of openings and connections for me. And I became known for my laughter.
That's amazing.
And the
And then
lady,
there birthed Laughing Lady Love.
yep, the lady love
Okay.
came through. I guess through one of my partners in the past. We were traveling in Puerto Rico, and there was a poet named Lady Lee. There's this amazing poetry cafe down in San Juan, Viejo San Juan, and they open mics, and she's got these really cool artworks and books, and just a really sweet community down there. And I was looking for a new stage name, and my partner would always introduce me as my lovely lady. This is my lovely lady.
Oh.
Stuck.
I'm a sucker for romance, you know, little Pisces
Yep.
in me.
Makes the world go round.
So then, how about LL? Because that is, you know, like you said, an alias that you are, you know, about to release a new album, right? The one that you had mentioned in the bio, releasing in spring. That's through the LL, correct?
I think so. Yeah, that's the intent. That's the intent, you know. Like I said, it's just kind of like the stripped down version, the lowercase and the down tempo experience of this image that I've kind of been writing, and it's been fun. However, I feel like I don't want to be just immediately boxed into being a lady of love or laughing or any of those things. However I am, and more. You know what I mean? So just like I said, kind of creating a fresh slate to say whatever the fuck I want.
I love that. And I think, you know, that's something about artists. You know, a lot of artists are always evolving. And, you know, I definitely see the beauty in being able to kind of create a whole other, you know, just exploring different parts of ourselves that, you know, sometimes when you are attached to a certain name, you know, people do box in, you know, a sound. And sometimes you're like, man, I want to honor that sound. And I love that sound for what it is. You know, and this maybe is not the same kind of vibe of that sound, but it's still, you know, part of me expressing myself, you know, and the totality of this, you know, human experience as an artist, which, you know, I ultimately think, you know, the one job of an artist is to express yourself, you know, and whatever you're feeling, whether that's good, bad, ugly, or otherwise, you know, it's just expression. And so I think that's really awesome that you're getting to explore that. And I am looking forward to actually, you know, not in a pressure way, but just, you know, getting to hear what this other expression is, because, you know, I do love your music as Laughing Lady Love. And I'm sure this is going to be its own layer, you know, that has its own beauty. Because that's often what I find with my art is, like you were saying, it's almost like it's teaching you. You know, I find that for me, it's like each song, each, you know, album is like another layer that I'm, you know, analyzing or feeling through or, you know, taking off, you know what I mean? And trying on and, you know, just feeling out. And they're all different parts of getting to know ourselves, which, you know, I think that's the whole point of this experience here. So I'm really looking forward to it. And you do have a couple of songs out already through it on your demos out on your SoundCloud, right?
So the demos I've been releasing are actually not on the album. The demos I've been releasing, to be honest, are like the throwaways that didn't make the cut. And the ones that I have just mixed myself just to like build some energy and to show something and to like just put a little bit out into the universe, you know, a little prequel So what is
I
the
love that. Little sprinkles. Sprinkles, y'all. So go check that out up on the SoundCloud. I'm going to go ahead and read this comment. Love Life Clothing says, I feel like the creativity comes from an otherworldly source and it needs to flow in its own time and in its own way, working through you.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. It's like your intuition. Woo! Right? Do you ever feel that way, that creativity is a way of you tapping into your intuition?
Definitely.
Yeah, I
Definitely.
really love that. No expectations, the part of anyone who comes to see you.
Mm.
Woo!
Mm.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, I find that just creating an opening and setting some time and space
Mm.
aside for whatever wants to come through, whether it's just sitting down in silence and just relaxing, or moving and stretching, or sitting down to write, or putting on some music that I'm intending to write to or intending to put a poem to. Just really simply creating that space is
Yeah.
enough to open and allow something to come through.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
for
I
me,
like that part. It says no expectations, right? I
yeah.
think, again, going back to this consumer culture and the reality, the tough reality of being an artist and really trying to make a living out of what you're doing, and if you are an artist and you're not making a living off what you're doing, then you're kind of expected to have some other full-time or part-time job
Mm.
and still be able to dedicate to your art and find that space. And so when you create that space, it's hard to not sometimes have those feelings of like pressure of like this needs to be something that's gonna get me a certain amount of something to be able to survive, a certain level of whether it's streams or whether it's even just the outside opinions, because when you post things, you have people up in your comments saying all these different things about what they like and what they don't like. And
Mm.
so I love how you say that, creating that space and, just creating it and holding it and allowing, whatever to flow through. Because it's kind of like having to do that without any judgment.
And sometimes you get no response at all, and you're like,
Ain't that the truth?
hmm.
Mhm.
You know? So it's
Yeah.
it's a real test of inner faith, and faith in
Yeah.
yourself, and faith in just what feels good.
Woo! Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the core.
That's of inner faith.
And
I
I,
love
I want to speak to being an artist, and on one end of the spectrum, playing into what is current, what is relevant, what needs to be spoken on,
mm,
and on the other side, just coming from a space of what is coming through your personal experience and how you're interpreting that,
yeah.
what
Yeah.
you need to say about it. And then also, too, I think there's another space of channeling, which perhaps integrates both of those into a more intuitive, psychic, spiritual expression where you don't even contrive of what's going to come through you. You don't pre-plan it out. You're
Right.
allowing for it. And I think it's all of that. And I kind of flex between those realms in my creation process.
So do you believe in divine timing then?
Definitely.
Okay. So then my question for you, what is your favorite time of the year? Because this is something I've been thinking about a lot. I know spring's my favorite time of the year, but I
Hmm.
know you're a Leo baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your favorite time of the year?
Hmm. Well, you know what? I spend a lot of my time like in the tropics, so I haven't fully delved into the experience of all the seasons.
Mm,
I was in Oregon this past spring, and the flowers were super beautiful, and just like the magic of the sunlight at certain
mm.
times of the day was just like,
Because you're in Colorado, right?
no, actually, I was living in Oregon.
We're in Oregon. Then you went to, where are you now?
I'm in South Florida right now.
Oh, snap.
This is where I was born and raised. Yeah, South Florida. Down
Oh,
it.
snap.
I'm kind of like snowbirding, dude. Like
Yeah.
creeping on the beaches and like laying in the sun, swimming in the ocean these days. It's been really super
And the
healing.
water is warm out there, huh?
Yeah, it is. I was
That's
in,
amazing.
actually, oof, I got to swim out a little bit and watch the sun drop down from in the water. It was super magical.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah. For my
Well,
a day at least is sunset. That's kind of been always really consistent. And
like
other,
no matter where you are, just watching the sunset.
yeah, yeah.
Mm. Do you ever notice the birds, like that all the birds that are around a certain area, they'll all stop and watch the sunset?
Hmm.
Do you ever notice that? I don't know if it's just the birds in the area I'm at, but I've been noticing that lately. I'm like, the birds are all perched up on a tree, and it's like they're all getting together just to watch the sunset.
I wouldn't doubt it, dude. They know about the cycles and the rhythms.
Right? Because the same birds, the ones that are outside my complex, they meet up every morning and they meet up every sunset. So at sunrise, I'll see them all outside and they're loud as fuck. And I just imagine they're all out there like, yo, I'm gonna go fly over here and yada yada, I can't wait to see this, and I'm gonna be over on this side. Yeah, you know? And then they come back at sunset and are like, man, I totally saw this when I was flying over here. What'd you see? And they're just like so loud. You know, like buzzing around each other, the whole tree, and there's like, you know, 80 of them. There's just a bunch of these little birds talking as loud as can be. And I always find them out there at sunrise and sunset.
Happy hour, community.
Mhm. And I
They
was
know.
like, oh, this is like the big movie for them, you know?
Yeah,
Every day we get together, you know?
that makes sense. Netflix for birds. Sunset.
Right? I love that.
Hmm.
So I like to ask, you know, during the show, I love to ask everyone what is their medicine they'd like to share with the world. And it can be, you know, something, you know, just like a gem, you know, little gems dropping from Laughing Lady Love, LL, you know,
Hmm.
whatever you learned this week, what you've been thinking about, what you've been meditating on, whatever that means to you that
Hmm.
you'd like to share with the good people.
Hmm. The medicine. Hmm. Mm-mm. I've been kind of slipping back into some really just groovy, wavy beats and
Mm.
songs to like just like a nice wave, even more than you've heard. I don't know, but I'm just kind of like perpetually fall back to the default of the smooth vibe. You know, like not smooth jazz, but the energy of smooth jazz
Mm.
with the boom bap flair. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so just putting on some good instrumentals and kind of, you know, vibing out a bit.
I guess the gem in that is kind of as I said before, just make space for the sacred pauses.
Yeah.
I feel so overstimulating. I've been feeling really overstimulated the last couple days. It's been a bit,
Yeah.
and just going for a walk, getting to the beach, jumping in the ocean, sitting in the sun, you know, laying down on the grass or the floor just to stretch out, just to be at peace. Turn off the phone, turn the Wi-Fi off, like put your phone on airplane and just unplug all the stimulation for a few moments at least. That's been my medicine.
I
Because
love that.
I used to really try and dive in and force myself to have intense practices physically, spiritually, dietarily, but I think at the very least, like these sacred pauses, a few moments a day, just for nothing. Have no plan. Let whatever comes through come through. Be as you are. That's been the deepest and most effective.
I love that. And you know, I feel for myself, you know, I could see how the spiritual, like, you know, just having practices and discipline has been really helpful during this quarantine time.
Mm,
But then, you know, it does sometimes become an expectation
mm,
that too much of an expectation on me. Or, you know, some days where I'm like, man, I'm really just not feeling it, you know? and not beating myself up over it and being able to just not do anything, you know, that's productive, and how hard that can be. And it's surprising to me how hard it is, you know, because I'm like, I'm going to get in trouble,
Right.
you know, that it needs to be something that is benefiting my health, you know, and it has to have a specific purpose, you know, it needs to be something that's helping me to better myself or helping me to better my circumstances, or, you know, push me forward somehow. You know, and I've been finding so much medicine in just binge watching Fuller House lately, because it is this thing that has no purpose for me other than just like, I don't know why, it just makes me feel really comforted by, you know, the cheesy humor,
Yes.
and throwbacks to Full House, you know. It's like what, like my childhood safety blanket is what I've been calling it.
It's like regression therapy, just like, yeah, numbing out a bit.
But you know, I feel that even with music. I put some music on in the car the other day, and I was like, man, when was the last time I just listened to music? Not listen to my own music with the, you know, analyzing, like, okay, I've got to mix this and do that. And you know what I mean? Just play some music and just listen to it, sit back, and just vibe with it, you know, with no intention of me actually creating at all. And I found, you know, it's sometimes harder to enjoy, you know, art when you start making it, you know, and making it into a career. And so I love that you are still able to put beats on and still find medicine and therapy, and just allowing it to be whatever it is, whether you flow to it or just vibe to it and do nothing. I think that is really beautiful.
Do my best, right?
Hey, and that's all we can do. That's all we can do.
I find a healthy dose of inspiration pulling from my peers. I've collected a lot of poet friends across this time and space.
Yeah.
Really just, yeah, pulling on the people that I know of, that I've come across or have heard of through other people, and just seeing like where our culture is as a peer council. Like, where are my I want to say my equals. I think that we're all equal, no matter what level of success we've achieved. We can all learn something from each other. I think that's important to remember in any case, any stage of your progress.
Yeah, especially because, you know, that's something that I feel I constantly get smacked with, but in like a good way, because I think it just kind of, it keeps you, you know, a certain level of humility, and just reminds you the way that everything kind of works together. You know, even someone who you might think is very ahead of you in a certain area, they may not have another area of their life really together, and you may be actually really good in that specific area. And when we enter situations with like less judgment and ability to just be open, we're able to exchange those gifts with one another. And, you know, it takes a lot of compassion. It takes that unconditional love and all these big words of character to be able to do that, you know, because we're so conditioned in our world, at least most of us, you know, to do the kind of opposite, you know, start comparing, start putting things into their specific little boxes, and our egos get activated and all of these things. But I truly believe that too. You know, everybody in your life is like a missing puzzle piece in some sort of way, because none of us have it all together, and none of us are great at everything. That's just not possible. But I do truly believe that each and every single one of us has a unique gift, and its unique expression in the world is a gift to the world, just by being who you are, the way you are, who you truly are. Not who society tells you are, not who all that conditioning tells you are. And I think that's the challenge, right? Is like digging past that, and each of us trying to figure out what that is, because we've been so kind of ripped from it, you know. But I believe in that most authentic state, that just like you said, you know, we are all equals, and we all have something that we offer and bring to this, you know, table of life, if we're open to receiving it.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, speaking of opening to receive, you got any bars you want to spit for us?
Yeah, dude. I'll share a couple for sure. I just wanted to
I mean, we
say
also can
on
still
that,
keep talking about this, but I did want to throw that out there, you know.
definitely.
Give you a
Yeah,
little prep in your mind.
definitely. I just wanted to say on that note that one of the most humbling and sacred spaces that I like to enter is a room full of poets at an open mic or a showcase. I don't know what it is, just something, as I said, so raw and authentic and deep and soulful about somebody just sharing the spoken word about whatever's on their heart. And I was thinking back to this actually too, maybe a couple weeks ago, how in the spiritual culture sometimes I find there's like a toxic positivity and a shadow denial and some bypass happening. Everybody wants to be love and light, but not actually talk about the deep struggle and emotional challenge and the interpersonal conflict that is real and present. And there's some avoidance of that. And in the poetry scene, I noticed, especially as I started, the more truthful, the more authentic, the more raw, honest, intense the poet and the poem was, the more vibes grew, the more the flame just blazed, and the more response there was, the more you felt the room just pierce the veils of all illusion and fantasy and just gets sunk so deep into the truth of life. And that will always sit with me, you know. Actually, I'm wearing this shirt. This is where I first like kind of started encountering poetry, spoken word. I'm backwards probably. It says the art of spoken word, black on black rhyme. And that's a group out of Tallahassee, Florida. This guy named Keith Rogers. He was one of the main organizers of that group. And like every Thursday or something, they had an open mic. And I believe that was one of the first spots that I shared spoken word poetry, is how I started performing.
Wow. So that's where it all got started.
Kind of like alongside
here.
called Poetic Lyricism at FSU. I'm sure they're still doing their thing for sure, but just to like shout out the roots, remember where you come from, who supported you from day one. I think that's
100%.
So what you want to hear, man? I got like all this new stuff I never released. I don't know where I'm at.
Whatever you feeling, sis. You know, you can bust out the vibe track, spit a little poem, you know, whatever you feeling. I'm up for all of it. I'm super grateful to have your presence here with us tonight.
Likewise, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for being consistent with this art and creation, continuing to feed the people and the artists with the form and the platforms, and just encouraging collaboration and creation. It's such a gift. Thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. Yeah, this has been my commitment for 2021. We're wizards, y'all. So keep checking back here every week. We keeping it inspired, inspiring your hump day on them Wednesday vibes, you know, and bringing dope artists from our local and global community. I mean, you're basically on the other side of the state or the country right now. So, you know, the beauty of, which, you know, what time is it there now? Like
10:54.
Oh, snap, man. You up here in the late nights. Appreciate you.
Late night vibes. It's good. Good. I'm kind of a night owl anyway, so it's good timing for me.
Oh, good. Good.
All right, well, let's just play this one. We'll just see how it sounds. How's that coming through? All right. I'll try to spit along. Spit it. Good vibe, good volume.
You gotta turn it up, I think, just a little bit. I can hear the guitar, but it's kind of hard to hear your voice. There you go.
At the temple doors for recovery, clear sight ahead inside. High praise. So I come and sort it out and visualize and see that success and serenity, life lived lucidly, designing dreams follow through, and then will be give my all and release. Only God can me. I am peaceful and at ease. Only God can me. I am peaceful and at ease. I'm here now. Do you hear me now? I'm here to clear it out. Clear it down, God, pouring out the style. Water for my fire, shining on my stride. Empty pages, ancient stages, me and one on my mind. In the silence, wisdom whispers so loud. Hugging with a mood, I'm alone. Music in my home, gotta live for that. Cultivate identity, slay emotion, reclaim my mind. When life mirages passing through the town, and we even exist to seek enlightenment, grasping purpose, ask me how to escape. Absolute templates, what fraction of my faith do I say? Give it to God, give it to God, give it to God, give it to God. Receive the grace, give it all away. Give it all away. Give it all
Ooh.
away.
Yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Hearts, 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 hearts. Bow, 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 bow. That was such a vibe. See, I'm saying, everybody watching this, y'all need to check out Laughing Lady Love, LL. Such a freaking vibe every single time, sis. Always pick. Do you pick out your beats, right? You get them from someone else.
I've been finding them online. Yeah, I've been buying beats.
Yeah, the beats you always gravitate to. They're so vibey. Like, ooh.
Thank you.
Yeah, you got
see,
the ear,
the vibration is so important for me. Like I said, it has to be easily received and just like easily heard, easily digested, easily listened. Because that's what I want. I love conscious rap, however, I don't listen to a lot of it because the beats are very hard and the vibe is very harsh and the content is so deep and complex, and it's just hard for me to take in, to be honest.
Yeah, no, and I know for a lot of, myself included, those who are in the conscious rap type of lane, there's always a balance of trying to, find a little bounce, a little groove in it, but still being able to kind of say some food for thought. And I know my last album project I did, Underground Revolver, was very like conscious heavy. And it's funny you're talking about aliases, because I have this whole mash boogie alias that I'm coming out with in this new album project that I'm working on, and it's a lot more just like, it's just more fun. It was more fun for me, and I think that was the important part, was because I found the more serious stuff, while it was important, especially during the time that I created it for, it was really heavy. You
Mm-hmm.
know, felt heavy creating it, and it was a very, necessary release, like an alchemization. But
Yep.
I definitely, I feel there's beauty in both, and being able to have that balance,
Yep.
because I could definitely see how, people who are turned off by it, and why, because it can be heavy, and unless you in the right mind frame for it, like,
Yeah.
okay, let's go. It might
Right.
be a little too much, and even for myself these days, I'm like, okay, how can I make this a little bit lighter and a
Mm.
little bit more fun, and that's an element of hip hop and something that,
Mm.
I've been needing to remind myself of. And it's actually, I think, one of the reasons why I really started gravitating to your music when I did,
Mm.
was because I was in a period where, I wanted to allow more joy into my life. Unconditional joy.
Mm.
Who was talking about Spacewalker. Shout out to Spacewalker, again, who released a new music video today. Y'all should go check that out, called Avatar State. I think you'd really like it too, sis. I
Oh,
think you'd vibe well with Spacewalker.
love it.
Freestyle coven, goddess ganging up in here. um,
Right on.
but she was talking about unconditional joy.
Mm.
So as you're talking about vibing and that feeling and it being, easily digestible, it also has this feeling of like unconditional, you know, good vibes, unconditional joy, unconditional space, unconditional love in all of its forms.
Mm.
So yeah, that's real beautiful. Thank you for sharing it.
You. I think it's important that we return to hope. Like we gotta have something to look forward to, even if it's super heavy going through it, getting through it. It's gotta happen, and then it's awesome to be able to return to joy and laugh at the struggle at the end of the day. That's my
Yeah, and shout out to Love Life Clothing up in the chat, because we were just talking about this morning, because you know how you were saying earlier about within the spiritual community, and I completely agree. There is this big, there's a big set of people, not everybody, but there's a large set of people who kind of avoid certain topics and avoid the more negative aspects of life. And it is a form of bypassing. And I do believe, when we're going through difficult situations, that it is important to fully embody it and to feel through it. Because what happens, at least in my experience, is that when we don't allow ourselves to fully process it, it becomes like a PTSD reaction. And until we allow that emotion to fully process and be felt through our body, we will constantly release in that PTSD type of way, because we haven't allowed ourselves to fully feel the emotion. And it's like the fear of feeling the emotion is more scary than feeling the emotion and like letting it pass through, even though it sucks in the moment. You know what I mean? It's so intense, and it's, when you actually allow yourself to feel whatever it is that you're feeling. But I also agree with you. And that's what Love Life Clothing and myself were talking about, yesterday, was just how important it is to eventually get to a point where you're like, okay, we have to have some sort of hope. We have to move forward in the best way that we can. It doesn't mean that, we're going to ignore these other things. But, it's like kind of like a rushing river. If the water sticks too long in a certain place, it actually becomes like dead or like stagnant. Like a plant that is in rushing water, the water has to be constantly moving or the plant will actually die, because the water is whatever healthy bacteria it is. I don't know all the science behind it, but I see it with my plants. I know that it's a thing. And that rush of water, that rush of energy, that flow, we have to allow that channel to open up. And it's hard because we get hurt by our circumstances and closed off, and afraid to try again.
True. Yeah, I think the filtration is absolutely necessary within our own being. The filtration is so
Ooh, I
necessary.
like that. Filtration. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm
And
gonna put that up in the bio caption for this.
you
Filtrate your system.
do. Good one. Clear me out. And
Yo.
as in like searching, literally digitally searching, when the filter is super specific, you find what you're looking for more quickly. And I think that's another note on this note to make the filter super clear, but also to allow for the filtration process and to let things that don't serve you to fall away, and
Yeah.
to refresh that filter too and reassess, like, okay, is this a boundary that I need, or is this something that I need to open up to? Is this a person I need? Is this experience something that I need? Is this somewhere I need to reach out to? Is this something I need to try out? It's a constant process of
Yeah,
redefining.
and it definitely always reminds me that we are a part of life, you know, and as being part of life and living beings, we are constantly changing our internal landscape, our external landscape. It's like that river; it's constantly flowing through. And when we try to stop it, you know, don't move. Then we get stuck in that, you know, stagnation, and you know, it's always important to redo it, because we reflecting is important, you know, being able to hold that space is important. But it's that balance, right, of knowing, okay, this filter's dirty, we gonna switch over to aurora lights now.
Literally the filters.
Bam, new filter, let's go.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Are you filtrating your system out there?
Put a filter on it. That's so fun.
Love it. Well, girl, I could talk to you, I feel like, for hours. This has been a really fun hour to have you up on the show. Thank you so much for sharing your vibe with me, and the good people here. I definitely feel like you've gained at least one new fan, you know. I know Love Life is going to be checking out your music sometime real soon. And, you know, I always really appreciate it, because I get my cup filled from these episodes. And, you know, like you said, surrounding yourself by people who inspire you, you know, I definitely believe in that too. And you are definitely someone who inspires me, creatively, and, you know, just as a person, with the way that you carry yourself. So thank you so much for being you and the work you do. You got any last words, promo, you know, anything else you want to put out there in the sphere before we get off of this?
So much gratitude to you in this space and all the artists you host up on here. It's a village. We need each other. I'm looking forward to gathering again when everything opens up.
Me too. Me too.
Make it happen. We're gonna have some really beautiful, curated experiences. I feel that coming in for sure.
Put your hands out to receive, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, on the promotional side, I guess, check out my page, Laughing Lady Love. And that will link to the new artist icon as well. And the links on both those profiles will connect you to my SoundCloud and my Bandcamp. And I'm just dropping some bedroom bangers I made in my bedroom here. Some little the next few weeks. I might put one out tomorrow. I'm gonna see what I can put together. But otherwise, again, next week I'll have another one out, and for the next few weeks, perhaps, until the album is ready to be released. We got a 5-track album. It's pretty uplifting and fun and sweet, this album. Also, I plan later for the year to have kind of a jazzy, poetic, hip-hop collaboration with another artist of mine. Maybe summertime-ish. We're gonna do a little, I think it's about six or 7 tracks. It's a pretty cool project. Some sweet emotional content. He's an amazing poet and lyricist too, Miles Brody, and an awesome visual artist. Looking forward to that. I do have some like heavier kind of rap in the works too, like a lot of deep emotional processing I went through last year, reflected in that project. I might put out like a few track EP album in that range. And as I said, more recently I've been kind of back on this like real wavy, loving, sweet, uplifting vibe, but with also some kind of deep emotional content stirred in. So it's like a nice blend. So that might become another little album in the works too. We'll see how it all unfolds, you know?
So basically, y'all need to go follow at Laughing Lady Love so you can be
Touch,
plugged in yourself.
Stay in touch. I'll always put something interesting out. Interesting nonetheless.
Well, it's always a vibe to me. I've never heard a miss. You know what I mean? Every track that's come out has always resonated with me. So I know, I won't be disappointed with any of the new stuff you have coming out. So everybody watching, definitely go follow at Laughing Lady Love. Thank you again so much for sharing your time and sharing the space with me. Feeling the love. I'm gonna also check out Laughter Yoga, y'all, because I think I need some of that. Let's go.
Love it. You will love it. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Happy Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. We out. Take care. Much love. Mwah.